Welcome all to the New Dream Podcast. I'm Sarah Grady, and as Bryce Savage's song states, I'm a Pisces with no fake love here. My soul felt deeply called to create the New Dream movement of unconditional love and support for all, so here we are. Whether you're here for the stories, engaging authentic conversations, to discover new tools to create change in your life, or just the unconditional love and support that's felt, know that you are beyond welcomed. Take what fits for you, leave the rest, because life is yours to live and your heart will know the way. Let's get started creating our new dreams. Before stepping into this next conversation, I want to give the disclaimer that the sensitive topic of the deep dark hole and of depression is discussed. That wasn't the focus of the conversation. The focus of the conversation was happiness and joy. The story unfolded that our guest, Sherrie Goulet, she used happiness and joy as a way to help herself move out of the deep, dark hole that was trying to overtake her. Now, it wasn't an easy journey, and she shares a little bit about that. And this could be a little triggering for some to listen to. I want to make sure others understand that there is no right or wrong way in moving forward in your life. There's no right or wrong way to heal. Being able to be there and be the support that you need for yourself. And Sherrie's way of doing that was by embodying happiness and joy. I honor her in her braveness of being able to step out authentically and share something that is so sensitive and private to her in hopes that it might help someone else along that journey. Take what resonates for you, leave the rest, and I hope you enjoy this beautiful representation of how everyone heals in their own way. Enjoy. Hello.
Hello, Miss Sarah. How are you today?
I am good. Today we have Miss Sherrie Goulet. Did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
Perfect. She is based out of New Mexico, and we're going to step into the space of happiness and joy today. We are going to talk about what happiness and joy means to us, and Sherrie's going to share what's on her heart with us. So I thank you for being with me today.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for the privilege and the honor to share the space with you today, Miss Sarah.
Absolutely. I don't get called Miss very often. That feels nice.
Ah, just
I
because you're so
appreciate you.
special, you deserve that space.
I appreciate it. So, what is it about happiness and joy that it's so deeply rooted into your heart? Like when we talked before hopping on this call, like happiness and joy really just like kind of radiates off of you and you have all these things that you just want to get out. What caused you to feel like you needed to express that?
The reason I truly felt like I needed to express that because I really feel like it's such an important part of our being. Like we were really born with the gift of joy, right? And happiness. Think about an infant and a baby, and the first time like they smile, right? Like
Right.
the parents, it just lights up their life. Oh my God, the baby smile, right? So
Right.
it's a part of who we are. So I feel like humanity has lost those aspects just because of life, just because of things getting in the way, right? And
Mhm.
just because of how the COVID just like almost destroyed so many people and changed
Mhm.
how they were before it. It is a
Right.
sad thing, but it really did affect people, right? And it
Right.
changed that. So my point is, I want to bring that back to humanity, and I want to remind everybody how important it is just to feel it. So if we can just take a moment, right? And
Right.
just sit, smile as big as you can, right?
Right.
And just hold the space for the smile, because when you smile it tends to work with the chemicals in your mind, right? And it
Hmm.
starts releasing all these beautiful chemicals that will start to flow through your body, and you're going to feel the sensation of happiness, right? And joy. But just keep that smile on your face, because it's important, right?
Hmm.
You all need to feel happy. You need to feel joy. And you do not need to allow anybody to take that away from you, because you are the power. You are the being. You are the spiritual blessing that walks amongst this earth.
That is a beautiful, beautiful message. It's a really good reminder that we have the choice. You know, happiness really is a mindset. It is it is a choice that we can make each and every day. You know, the crap's going to hit the fan. It is a part of life. Bad's going to happen. Things are going to not work out the way we want them to, but the one thing we always have control over is how we choose to look at it.
That's right. And here's a good point about that as well. When you are feeling the feeling of happiness and joy, how much faster can you get through those events? How much easier, let me see, let me rephrase that. If you are in dread, you're going to just take that so heavy, right? But if
Right.
you're feeling the joy and happiness, what's going to happen? That's going to move away from you, move on to somebody else, right?
Mhm.
Because it can't affect you that much. And sometimes that negative energy in the universe will keep coming at you because of your emotions, because of your feelings like that. So when you stand in the happiness and joy, you can get through that so much faster and easier.
Right.
And that is one of the big points of happiness and joy. Because the more you
Absolutely.
dwell, the more you dread, all of that negative energy starts flowing to you. That thing's going to just keep coming at you. And you know, they say sometimes things happen in threes, right? So,
Mhm.
because you keep feeling that. So, the point is get rid of those ugly feelings and just focus on the happiness and joy, and you'll get through it so much faster. And the outcome can end up being so much greater for you.
S I guess how I wanna phrase this is, do you allow yourself to, like, feel those negative emotions too, though? Because like, for me, I had to like, I was the one that would push away all the negative stuff. Like, I just didn't let it like, I didn't even honor it. I didn't take space to hold it, and I realized, like, for myself, I did have to allow myself to feel a little bit of the pain and let it move through me so I didn't keep it bottled up inside. But having like looking for the outcome of what is this giving to me? What is this providing me with? What lesson can I learn from this? That's where the happiness and the joy for me stemmed from. So it's not so much just like pushing it away, it's more like embodying the fact that yes, I am experiencing this pain. I am experiencing this negative energy, but it gets to flow through me and I get to take that lesson and there's my happiness and my joy.
You got it. And
Okay.
and and you make a good point, and it's the same point as I made. You
Mhm.
can't allow it to dwell too long, right?
Right,
You
right.
have to, and yeah, there is a little space and time within that that you do have to allow yourself to process that. But you don't want
Yes.
to stay in it, right? You
Mhm.
don't want to dwell on, you don't want to cry like every day, every day, every day, like that.
Right.
So you allow that negative energy to come, to process, and then to move on is the point, right?
Right. See, and that's why I said it because I was like, I want to make sure our viewers understand that we're not saying like don't feel it at all because that can be just as unhealthy.
And
We want to let it
can I
flow.
interject on that,
Go
if
ahead.
you don't mind? Okay,
Absolutely.
so I hear you, and I do process that some too. But
Hmm.
some people, here's the thing, we are all designed differently.
Hmm.
Like I'll give you, there's somebody I know that don't need to process that at all. They're just onward in a minute, and they're perfectly good. So
Hmm.
it really depends on the person. Some people may need to stay in that space a little bit longer than others, right?
Hmm.
But they still need to hang on to that happiness and joy to get through it faster. But
Right.
there is a place and time for the processing of this, that negative energy, so that it can release from you further. But some people, I don't know, they have a switch in their brain
Hmm.
that they don't even need to process that. They just let it go through them and out of, and therefore thinking. So not everybody has to go through that particular process.
Right. So you're saying there's like a different process for each individual on how they move through
Mm.
those things.
Yes, there definitely is,
Hmm.
because there are some people now. What the person I'm talking about is actually a woman, believe it or not. But women are emotional beings, right? It's just who
Hmm.
we are and how we are designed. But there are some people out there that can just switch off and move forward and just let it do its thing, right? And just keep their eyes forward and move on. I have met many people in my life that are like that as well. They just turn it off, move on, as if it doesn't even exist. Where probably 80% of the population, say women, we have to process, right? We
Hmm.
have to process, we have to allow it, we have to heal it, and we have to move forward from that point.
Hmm. See
Go
that
ahead. Go ahead.
that just makes me wonder like I want to have conversations with those people
Sure.
and see like where that connects with like what it is that I was feeling in those moments when I was just pushing it aside because I had that switch too. It was like this disassociation switch of this really bad thing happened, but I'm just I'm not dealing with that right now. Like we're just that is not even a thing because I've got this to do and eventually it like bottled up later. So like I would be so curious to like see if it is like how I experienced it or if they have like literally just this way of being where it's not attaching in the same way or like and I'm sure it probably depends on the experience and what it is that they're feeling and going through
Yeah.
and like
And for
different levels.
you, and you always have to keep in mind, we are our own entity, right?
Oh, right, right.
We are our own spiritual being. We are our own physical body.
Mhm.
So from one to another can be completely different. And because for you, you're the kind of person that had to process. You did not do well, right? With the disassociation and just
Well,
ignore, because
technically I did.
it came back and surfaced back up in you. So that's a
Right.
sign your body needed to process it
Right. See,
in
and
a way that was right for you.
that's why I would be so curious to like have a conversation because I have not found anyone like that before. I
Really? Oh,
I haven't been around others that it's not like it's not a disassociation. It's just a they don't have to process in order to move forward. Like I've never met an individual that has that sort of mechanism inside of their brain and their body that allows them to move forward. So that definitely gets me curious on like trying to understand how they move through different things.
well, I can tell you this. You're looking at one, because
Yeah.
it's not often I have to process. So you're
Okay.
actually looking at one. And it was weird. It is a strange thing because my daughters, they're like, Mom, you need, which we had a conversation. No, I do not need, and it just felt like they would actually feel like I wasn't in a reality, right?
Hmm.
Because they process differently than I do. So
Right.
couldn't understand that. And they're like, you're too happy, you're too bubbly, right? And that's how they would see that. But for me, because of all that energy in me, all that happiness in me, all that joy, all that love, it would almost conquer, right? In a way, all those other emotions that wanted to keep me stuck and
Okay.
keep me in that particular space. And that is like my healing power. Like I could leave it over there, be here, look forward, and move on. Remember before we got on the call, I said I don't cry that much.
Yeah.
I think that's part of that.
Okay.
So yeah. So sometimes I do have to process, but it's not for long. Like I could be going through some of the worst things in life, but I'm still happy and I'm still full of joy and I'm still full of love because here's the situation.
Hmm.
If you stay in that space, what could happen to most people? They
Right.
could fall into a very deep depression, right?
Right.
And it is a very hard to pull yourself out of that.
Hmm.
That's why you don't and I may be going against the grain of what everybody thinks and feels, and that's okay because not
Right.
everybody is meant for me, not everybody is meant to align with me. But for the ones
Absolutely.
that do, will get it and will understand it. But you
S-
don't want to stay in that space too long because our world is full of depressed people. And
mhm.
because it's that thing has pulled them in to that hole, right?
Right.
And once you get pulled into that hole, it is a very, 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 very hard to find your way out of it and pull
Right.
yourself back out into your reality, your life, your hopes, your dreams, because you are so emotionally stuck.
So what you're saying is this has absolutely been your way of developing almost like a defense mechanism of keeping yourself out of that deep dark pit. So that way you could continue to move forward.
Yes,
I love that.
you got that. And
Mhm.
obviously, based on what I said, I am talking from experience
Right.
because I was in that pit.
Mhm.
And I was able to heal myself without counseling, without drugs. Now, it took me a long time to heal myself. But because of the joy, the happiness, the love, I was able to see myself through it and conquer it and break through and let go of the chains, right? And
Right.
come through it more powerful than ever
Absolutely.
because it is a very sad place to be for a long period of time.
It
And most
is.
people live with that. Once they get to that space, they stay in it. It's
Yeah.
a very hard for people to ever be free from that once it creates itself.
Yeah. It is definitely a long process and generally you need others to kinda not hold your hand through it, but you need people to hold space for you to be able to
Mhm.
find whatever way you need to move through it.
To move through it. And some people never get it released.
Yep.
They're always dealing with it the rest of their life. And if they can find that space, that time, that healing, that happiness, that joy, that love,
Hmm.
I am sure they can release it from their life,
Right.
be able to move forward.
So you're saying that that happiness and that joy, like having that focus is what helped you break free from
Yes,
that dark hole.
yes. Because
Okay.
why? Those emotions, those feelings on the high vibrational,
Mhm.
right? It's what changes. It's just an imbalanced chemistry in your brain, right?
Mhm.
And it's what changes all those chemicals within you, and it will start to balance out. You just have to be stronger than it
Right.
and more than it. If not, you will be in that place your entire life. And most people are. So people can start just bringing that into their reality and choosing to feel that. Number one, they're going to feel better. Number two, what else is the great news? We are going to create a better world to live in because people are
Right.
going to be happier. People are going to feel more joy. People are going to be more considerate towards each other, and this is
Mhm.
really what we want to create in the end, right? We
Right.
all want to get back to that place of happiness and joy and feeling great. Not conflictive, not argumentative, not always being mad, not always judging one another. We want to get to a place of happiness and joy and bring the spiritual energy back to a place where it needs to be.
Right. So what would you say gave you the greatest strength as you moved through that, like for you to be able to hold on to the happiness and joy? Where did you find your strength from, if you don't mind me asking?
It is my spiritual being and my
Okay.
God. He just loves me like he loves so many people. And he gave me the power, he gave me the strength to hold on, and he taught me how to do that. So, our
Okay.
universe and our spiritual guides and God, they are. They were here way before we were, right? And
Mhm.
they are there to guide us in every direction. So, what gave me the power is my spiritual being and my connectiveness
Mhm.
to my guides, to my God.
So your connection to something higher than yourself.
Absolutely.
I love
Since
that.
I was born.
I love that. All right. So if you had one bit of advice for people who find themselves in that space, in that space of not sure how to find the happiness, how to find the joy and connect with their inner self and their higher power, what would that one bit of advice be for you, like to offer them?
Go find a place of nature. If you will go find a place of nature, that is where your spiritual being will be the strongest for you,
Mhm.
especially if you're not in that space of this full strength and intuition of connectedness with your source. A great place to start is in nature. But if you are, you just have to just let go and just allow the guidance to come through you. And here's a powerful point: ask questions. How can I? Is one of the most powerful questions you can ask, because then the answers will just start coming to you, start flowing. And how do I feel good? How do I feel happy? How do I feel joy? What will bring me happiness? What will bring me joy? What is my life purpose? I mean, just keep asking the questions, and your guidance is, and angels are going to come to you, and they're going to get you on the right track. And then you're
Oh,
going to feel the happiness and the joy and the love. And that's what I want for
I love that. That is a beautiful message. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for sharing it. I felt it in my heart, so
Uh,
got me a
thank
little emotional for a second.
I know I can feel it too. That's
So,
awesome. That means you feel it. And that's like the universe and God just like
mhm.
filling your heart out with so much.
We are all connected. That is my
We
true belief.
are all connected. We are all as one. So
Mhm.
let's be the greatest version of ourselves, right?
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. When you hear the phrase the new dream, what does it make you think of?
Oh my God, let me tell you. um, it's like you can tell I'm like speechless because the dream is just infiltrating me with all these energies and all these feelings like, oh my goodness, how incredible. So, the dream for me, as I've always wanted to be like, I'll tell you a quick story real quick. I
Mhm.
went to college to be a psychologist, but I'm
Okay.
like, well, at your age, maybe be more practical. So I did. I went into business, but the opportunity of being a life coach has just been filtering me, like just coming to me. And I know that's my dream because it's been in my heart for many, many, many years. So now I do have my master's certification. So that is the dream. Like, what if I can share my energy, my happiness with others and help them just to see things in a different light?
Mhm.
That is my dream, to help people get to the place that they truly want to be. Just like your question.
Yeah. I I love that. I cannot wait to see where this journey takes you and see hopefully next time you are on, you will I don't know. You're just gonna have all the things that you want because I can see you moving forward and all the things are gonna be right there for you, and I can't wait to see where you're at.
I know it's gonna be such an exciting journey.
It
And I'll
is.
be ready soon for y'all to come with me on the journey that I am exploring.
I love that. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your energy with us and sharing a bit about your story and just being the beautiful presence that is Sherry.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank you.
so much, Sarah. And I so appreciate your time and your space for allowing me to share this with you.
Absolutely. You have a beautiful day.
And you do the same, and everybody else.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Got those pretty eyes that